horror heads, welcome back to another episode of Horror 365. I am your host, the mouthpiece of the Northeast, Jimmy J, and yeah, I am casual today, alongside with the HorrorDaddy himself, HorrorDaddy 85, Josh. Today's a very special episode, and I couldn't think of any place else to record but right here in the HorrorDaddy dungeon right here. This is incredible, just the setup that you got down here. And well, you had to kind of customize it for the topic of discussion today. Art the Clown. Oh, it is going to be a circus, baby. We're going to talk about it. And this is the first time that we've actually just had like a sit-down discussion. Very casual.
First interview down in my den, and it's exciting, right? As you can see, what we're going to be reviewing is Terrifier, so.
At least somebody came prepared today. Look at that Terrifier shirt. Incredible. Yeah, Hollywood Hogan. Who wants that? Whatever. There's enough horror here for everybody to go around, for everybody that's watching. All our dozens, and I do stress dozens, of followers out there and viewers. Guys, this episode, and it's very simple, as you've seen the thumbnail, and you see the background, and you see his shirt, and that hat, baby, it's all about Terrifier. Terrifier 2, yesterday, man, the premiere, the movie, the theatrical premiere, Terrifier 2, how many years in the making?
It's been like 3 years in the making. I mean, when they said that they were doing Terrifier 2, it was about back in early 2019. So Damien and David, Damien wrote an awesome script. This movie was backed by the fans, and they delivered. I'll tell you right now, this movie was made for us fans. So if you're a fan of Art the Clown and Terrifier, you're going to absolutely love this movie, as I did.
Oh, dude, and I don't know any other Terrifier fan as big as you. Seriously. Yeah. I mean, you have a ton of props. I mean, you have the get-ups, the Art the Clown. You do an incredible cosplay, man.
Thank you.
And we wanted to go to theater, and you were going to be dressed up, and they didn't allow costumes.
Yeah, unfortunately, AMC theaters don't allow the masks, so I did wear the shades, though. I had the shades in there, so
I think it's
I'd have something, for Terrifier,
I think it's because we couldn't guarantee there wouldn't be any clowning around.
Yes, that's right.
No, that's exactly what happened. But I'll tell you, we're gonna get into this movie. So before we even talk about this, Josh, I want to send this out there. Okay, this is gonna be spoilers. Okay, spoiler alert right now. I'm gonna give you a heads up. We are gonna be talking about some of the things that happen in this movie. So if you have not seen this film yet, don't continue watching this episode. Just wait till you see it. Is it going to be playing all weekend long?
Yes, it is. It's supposed to play all weekend long, and they said depending on how well it does in theaters, they're going to extend that. So that's going to be awesome. And I could already tell it's doing well in theaters just by all the fans' reactions on social media. So this movie, I think, is going to be out in theaters for the next 2 weeks at least. So
okay,
definitely
that's
you
awesome.
Got to catch it.
Yeah, because there was only one showing yesterday, right?
Yeah, the theater by us only showed one showing. It was a 7:30 time.
Yeah.
That was it. But to our surprise, there was lots of fans out there in line, and it was amazing just to be there with all the fans and to watch it. A lot of people were commenting on our shirts. Shout out to Horror Gods.
Yeah, Horror Gods for that
cool
shirt,
flower tee with Art the Clown and the flower glasses. Dude, everybody loved the shirt. So just shout out to you guys that
big ups to Horror Gods. Yeah, hell yeah, man. We were in there, and then that's always something. You know what? It's so cool because we've been to how many NJ Cons where the Terrifier crew was there.
Yeah.
And every time it's like a family now, you see Dave, and again, we had Dave on the show for the season opener this year, and Dave's so talented in so many ways. And then Queen, I keep talking about that karaoke performance. Yeah. The guy's incredible, man. And you would never think Art the Clown doing karaoke, like singing like that. But
dude, he has the vocals for it, man. Yeah. He shocked the hell out of us. That video, I can't believe it didn't go viral of him doing the karaoke at NJ HorrorCon.
I can't believe it either. And you know what? He is equally, as talented not singing anything as Art the Clown as he is singing, verbally. So, like, Dave, big shout out to Dave on his performance as Art the Clown in this film. In the first one, of course, but this one, man, he took it up a notch.
He took it up, I think a couple notches there, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, David, it was awesome. And shout out to him again, man.
And Damien, honestly, when I looked, and I didn't know, and we're going to get into the practical effects of this film, But I didn't know it was Damien that created these effects, man. This man is incredibly gifted. He's a creative genius.
He is.
In my eyes. Like, that's how I look at it. And it's like, this is the next generation, I feel like. Slashers. Yeah. This is the icon right here now. This is the next icon, Art the Clown.
He already
He's
is,
here.
man.
Okay, he popped out of the clown car with a whole bunch of tricks in that bag. Okay, and then we'll talk about some of that. Yeah. But, man, let's talk about the theater that we went to out in PA. First of all, it was great beforehand. We eating a little bit of Red Robin. We got pre-gamed it. Pre-gamed it a little bit, getting ready.
Had a couple beers in there, you know, just to try to, you know, the excitement was there. I mean, for me, it was a while, you know. I was excited all week, you know. I had to get through work, and, you know, I was just excited to see this movie and to be at the premiere. But, yeah, we went out, got some burgers, you know, had a couple beers. Just, you know, unwinding, you know, get ready.
You know, because the nerves,
build up,
man.
Yeah, the build up, yeah, because you're nervous too, because you're like, oh man, is it? You know, I knew they were going to deliver, but you had a little bit of nerves, and you know, especially you know, people seeing it for the first time, you just want it to do well, right? And it did well. It did great.
It did great, and then I mean, the fact that the theater was, and again, this is not a knock. I just didn't know how many. The horror fan, hardcore, because if you like Art the Clown, you like Terrifier, you got to be a hardcore horror fan.
Yes, you do.
Okay, that's what I feel like, you know, after seeing one. But when you see this one, you don't really have to be a hardcore horror fan, because, like, dude, they got more, and we'll talk about the storyline in a second, but really, like, I was surprised to see how packed the theater was.
Yeah.
You know, I thought we were going to be a few other people. The theater was packed. It was the only showing in that theater for, I think, that's it, even the weekend, like that particular theater. So I was happy. It was a 7:30 showing. We ate. We got in there. People were complimenting, like I said, the shirts and Horror Gods. Man, I was sitting there as things were building. I'm telling you right now, I said, I don't know what to expect, because I read a lot of reviews. Did you read the reviews before going into here?
A couple, but I tried not to, because I didn't want nothing to be spoiled for me. I wanted to go in with, you know, open eyes and just seeing everything. But when it did get played overseas in the UK last month, I was just reading like little bits of reviews of just how gory it was and how good it was, but then I would stop reading because I didn't want to know anything else. I wanted to go in and, you know, view the storyline, and, you know, I didn't want nothing to be given away, so.
Yeah, no, but dude, let me, before we get into this, for you, what's the highlight of this film? What is it that stuck out to you more than anything else? Whether it was like effects, whether it was storyline, music, whatever it was. What was it for you that did it? I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah, there is a lot. I mean, if I had to name one top thing, I mean, it would probably be David's performance in this one. I mean, he did a hell of a job in the first one, but oh my God, his antics and his comic relief of this character was just there. I mean, he delivered. I mean, when you guys go see this, you're going to see what we mean, but it was more like, there was a lot of comedy in this.
There was more
comedy. I was surprised. We had a lot of laughs in the theaters. A lot of people were laughing their asses off with the way David portrayed. You know, he was definitely clowning around in this one.
Yeah, exactly. So. And that's what I was like, I enjoyed that as well, because, like, as terrifying as these kills were, you had that balance with comedy.
Oh, you did, yeah.
Like, I want to spoil. I'm going to throw it out there. So, like, even in the beginning, talk about that. I want you to talk about this one. In the beginning, when he's in the laundromat, right?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, I thought that was the most terrifying kill. And it wasn't even a kill. Part of the movie. I'm never going to look at you. I'm telling you, Dave, if you're watching, I'm never looking at you the same. Jesus Christ, you busted out the pearly whites. That's all I got to say.
After watching that scene, I'm like, where's David's OnlyFans, right? Where's his OnlyFans at, right?
That's another source, a stream of revenue, Dave. Think about that, OnlyFans.
Yeah, they revved it up right in the beginning of this movie. I mean, you get to see Art. It kind of picks up right after the first one when he was in the morgue, and, you know, it goes right from there. But it's just hilarious. You know, Art the Clown's all bloody, walks into the dry cleaners, and he washes his clown suit. I couldn't believe it.
He took his clown suit off.
He zips it down, and here he is, butt naked.
Here's Dave. Right? Exactly. And then he's sitting down with a newspaper, and just his reactions, just his whole reactions, and the guy, and this is how you know you're talented. You don't have to say a word. No. You can mime it, right?
Yep.
And if you got people rolling, it's like, you're good.
Yeah.
You got a gift, my friend.
Yeah, and that's how this movie started, so we knew that we were in for a ride. I mean, the laughs in the theater, and Yeah, it's a great scene. It really is. That really stuck out right away. I'm like, oh shit, we're in for a ride right now. This is going to be something magical that's happening here on screen. So,
in that newspaper article, when he was reading it, Dave says like 4 killed in fatal crash. Yeah. And he starts laughing.
He's laughing. Yeah.
So it was so funny, man, because he's laughing. Obviously, anything sadistic, Dave's going to get a kick out of. Yeah. And then we get introduced to this little demonic girl.
Yeah, which was
that
really shocked me. Yeah. So we have this little demonic clown girl that only he sees, not normal people see. So when he's in the dry cleaners, we have another character that's in there, getting his clothes washed, and he's looking at David playing patty cake, right? He's patty caking with this invisible clown girl, and it was just wild, because David only sees her. This guy doesn't. He's like. This guy is a
few French fries short of a happy meal.
So he's there doing all this, and this, I'll tell you, whoever played this little girl, she was awesome. Yeah. I mean, she had that sadistic look and her eyes, and it was
makeup
spooky.
Effects were great. Yeah, makeup effects, practical. There was, so well done. And again, we'll talk about that down the line. But after the scene, after he kills the guy in the laundromat with the broomstick or the handle of the mop, whatever it was, because he was mopping the floor, so it was the handle of the mop. Yeah. So we can assume that. Then we cut to like normal activity going on with the family. There is a mother who reminded me of my mother. Yeah, like an Italian mother, just the way she spoke.
Yeah, she was tough on her kids.
She's like, clean the fucking dish in the sink. At one part, like she's just everything that she said, how she spoke, I could relate to, like growing up in my household with my mother. But then, you have the boy, the girl. Sienna, the girl.
And then her younger brother. Who was obsessed with Art the Clown. So he wants to be Art the Clown for Halloween. And, the mom's kind of like, well, why would you want to dress up as a serial killer, right? But he's so fascinated with them that he has, like, news articles he's reading in his room. And there's just, fascination by, what Art did. So that was really interesting to see his perspective of, here I want to be the serial killer, It kind of takes us into like real life today, like with the Dahmer series and all this, Geez. So that's kind of what made it happen for me. Was I was thinking of that. I was like, oh, this kid's like, like how somebody would be in real life, Yeah,
and that's what also scared his sister too, thinking like, oh well, next you're going to see a dead animal, something like that. Well, we got to that down the line in the school. Yeah. But you know what got me was like, in the beginning, she didn't believe him, and then she became a believer. Yeah. And the mother just thought, okay, my he's going to be a serial killer. Then my daughter's starting to lose it now, too. But even in the beginning, he had this scrapbook. Yeah. He had this book from his father. Yeah.
We didn't really get to find too much who their father was, but supposedly the dad had this scrapbook, and he had like drawings of art in there, and it was really odd. So this is something I think maybe they'll touch more on, and Part 3, this is kind of where I was a little confused about, but it was neat to see like these drawings that he created before Art actually went out and did the killings.
So it's like, did he know Art? Is Art a real person? Like, what is it? What's the connection there? And we still didn't find out at the end of the movie, so that's why I know there's going to be a 3.
Yes, definitely.
But now we see, now they're in school, and actually before the school, Sienna has this crazy dream. And we're going to take you guys, to the Clown Cafe. Oh, yeah. What about that?
That was
Come
amazing.
On down to the Clown Cafe. Oh, man.
Yeah, that was great.
That scene.
That jingle is going to be.
Oh, it's over.
That's going to be.
I'm going to the store. You're listening. I know you're listening, Mike. I know you're listening. Damien, I'm getting me some Art Krispies, baby.
Oh, Art Krispies,
it's
baby.
On. It's on that. I don't know if I'm going to. It depends. If I have a hankering for some maggots or some,
some
glass
in there,
or some
glass,
chopped razor blades. Yeah, come on, I want to feel that blood rushing out of my digestive tract. But
what a scene that was. It was like a dream sequence she had, but wow, was it wild. This is where we got to see the carnage of Art the Clown.
Yeah, man. And
they introduce him, and he's happy, and he's going
on a tricycle.
He's giving candy out to the kids, and then all hell breaks
all hell breaks. And now Sienna, this is a dream, right? She's sitting there, and there's a secret. Everybody's doing their thing. It looks like something out of Blue's Clues mixed with something else.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
what it reminded me of. Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But there's something about nursery rhymes, jingles like that are scary and creepy. Mm-hmm. I mean, we've seen it in so many movies. Yeah, most famous Nightmare on Elm Street. 1, 2, Freddy's. So
I can see Clown Cafe's going to be
Clown Cafe's going to, man. I agree. And then they were sitting there, and Art, he's handed out. He's like, yeah, take it. Take your gifts and everything. Open it up. And Sienna didn't want to take the gift, and he was forcing on her to take it. She took it. And then Art's like, you know what? Finish the rest. I want you to finish the rest. He had enough. What did he do?
He had enough. So we got to get introduced to a blowtorch, right? I mean, out of all the weapons, Art the Clown has used probably every weapon that's known to exist, right? He pulls out a blowtorch, and we immediately start people on fire, right? And the best part was the banjo player. Yeah, she was playing the jingle, and she's still playing the jingle, and she's engulfed in flames.
That's the work ethic most of us need right now.
Yeah, she's on fire, literally. Song. Yep.
She was so dedicated to finishing that song while she was immersed in flames. She was continuing singing, and it was on key. Yeah. She didn't even miss a key. No. That was incredible. Shout out to the banjo player.
Yeah. She did a good job, by the way, too. That banjo player.
Yeah, I don't know. That smile. It was like it reminded me of something like Jack Nicholson, like the Joker, man. That smile, and that was it was a great scene, though, man.
And we even got to hear David too. Like he dubbed his voice in there somehow because they had this creepy, like Joker-esque. Right? Did you remember hearing that?
Yep.
That sounded amazing, and I told him right away. I was like, "Oh, that's David," because David does one of the best impressions of the Joker. Like, I mean, this guy could definitely play the Joker too.
Yeah, no, I would love to see that, man. I'd like a big screen movie. Joker, come on, that's something down. Come on, you got to book him. That's it. But that scene, man, was one of the ones that stood out in the movie for me. And he had enough, and he took out the Tommy gun and started shooting, killing everybody over there. And then before Sienna woke up, I guess like he was about to kill her. It looked like, I think he was about to kill her, and then she woke up and her room was on fire.
Yeah, her angel wings.
Were on fire, and then there was this dagger.
Yeah,
that was on her desk that her father gave her, I believe, and it just.
This is one of those other pieces too that we don't really know what this dagger means, but it does mean something because as we get to the end of this movie, you're going to see why. So we were all kind of like, well, what's this dagger have to do with anything with her? And so there are little missing pieces, but I know Damien's saving this for part 3. I know it's going to get explained.
We're gonna find out what's going on with everything that we didn't find out in this one. And then when I see the dagger, I was thinking of Jason Goes to Hell.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Get the damn dagger!
Yep. It even had like a little glow to it. And it didn't burn at all in the fire. The thing was just covered in ashes, and nothing was done to it. So we know there's something going on there with this dagger that it can't be damaged at all. So which is kind of
it comes into play later on too. Yep. And then we see, and the mother's already fed up with this stuff, and then it cuts, I think, to the school scene at this point. Yeah. Like we get into the school, and then we find that there's a shout out. We've seen her cameo in the movie.
Felissa Rose. Felissa Rose
as a teacher.
She was a teacher. Then the kids were out on, it looks like, in the playground at that time.
And it was a dead raccoon, I believe. And they would joke when they called another girl over there to look at it.
Yeah,
look
the
at the
guts
raccoon.
and maggots were hanging out, and it was,
There's something about that girl too. Why that girl in particular? Does she like represent? Is she a friend of the other girl? Because apparently, when we were trying to put it all together, they had a radio. Was it like a radio cast on the TV, like a news channel, reporting that the only survivor from the Miles killing, I forgot the exact name of it offhand, but from the previous, part 1, was this lady who now her face was deformed. I forgot her name. Forgive me. And the interviewer apparently got assaulted.
Which we do see in Terrifier Part 1. Yeah, is when she goes and gouges her eyes out, and
we've seen that by this woman. So now she assaulted this crazy woman. She's like now losing it, and now we're trying to figure out, okay, how is this all connected with that little girl that we seen that was like a mini Art female version little girl? And apparently she got killed. There was another killing where she got
killed
at a carnival.
Yep.
So, okay, we're trying to put it together now. All right, we'll get to it later on. So we're trying to see the pieces of the puzzle coming together. I know I went off topic from the raccoon thing, and I'm trying to think, okay, that, I guess, symbolizes maybe now Sienna's brother is going to be a serial killer. Yeah. And her mother gets the call. She's freaking out.
Yep.
And Sienna she has like these anxiety attacks.
Yeah, she's having like these little mini panic episodes and starting to really feel like, somebody's watching her, right? And as we see when she gets into the abracadabra, I don't know what it was called in the movie, but
it was Abracadabra. Yeah.
Was it the same?
Yeah, and shout out because that's a legit store in New York City. They come out to the conventions. Yep,
she goes there to finish her costume because she needs new angel wings because hers went up in flames. So she runs into Art at the costume store. We get to see, this is where we start to see a lot of the funny stuff happening with David and as the character, and she passes by him and, you know, he's watching her down. So there's something connected with Art and her because he's watching her the entire time, right? Yeah. And as we see then, like, she goes to check out because she's feeling really nervous at this point because she's just kind of like, all right, this guy's creepy. Why is he?
He's right behind me. He's staring. Yeah.
So he's doing his things. He puts as you can see,
shades on.
Zach's scene right here. I mean, he's standing behind her like this while she's paying,
with the shades.
And he's throwing on different shades.
Yeah, and then they cut back to
see all kinds of different.
He sees the slinky eye shades going
and he's
up
there
down.
bouncing his head.
So that was great, man. That scene, and then he goes up, and what does he do?
He comes up behind her.
I'm saying like I'm Sienna, and here's.
Yeah, we get to see that the jump. Yeah, and he just keeps honking in her ear. And you know, just doing his typical, you know, clowning around. So we get to see her, you know. Yeah, at this point, she had enough. She's just like, hey, can you just bag up my wings? I'm getting the hell out of here. All right, so she gets the hell out of Dodge, right? At this time, this is when we get to see Art do what he does best, right?
Oh, man.
He goes over to the sign at the door. It's open right now, but he closes it, and that's when we knew, oh, here we go.
It's about to get real.
Yep, it's about to get real.
And that, well, I feel bad for that cashier.
Yeah, that cashier
from Abracadabra.
Yeah, he should have took the day off.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have been a perfect sick day.
And it's like, you know, all he wanted, I think, what did Art ask from him? Again, I think he wanted something.
Well, he bought a horn.
Oh, he was buying a horn.
Yeah, he was buying his horn, and the guy was getting mad with him. He was like, "Well, sir, you need it's $8 and like whatever, 25 cents." Yeah, but he went to go pay him, but this guy was getting rude to him. So I guess Art was like, "You know what?"
You know, he took a beer bottle at the better, cracked him, pulled him over the counter, and dude, that was brutal. Oh my God, it's right in the eye with the open glass. Yep. And then he took his whole head off.
Yeah, he did.
And then what did he do?
He held the head as a statue for the next customers to come in.
And when Tamara Glenn, I think,
Tamara Glenn. Yeah, Tamara Glenn had a little cameo. She came in with her son in the movie.
She was, oh, look, Bobby, he's standing there, freaking like a mannequin.
There, like a mannequin, just like this with the head. So that was really a cool scene. Cool. That was a really neat costume store. I definitely would love to visit Abracadabra in New York City. So
they come out. They come out to the cons. As a matter of fact, they're the ones with the. You know, with the nun.
Yeah, I actually got a picture with them.
That's it.
The nipple nun. Shout out to that nun. That is a really cool prop. I had to censor the nipples though on it. You know, I don't want to get flagged. You know, I don't want to get banned on IG. So.
And OnlyFans. I'm telling you, a lot of OnlyFans reference. But the thing is, I think from this point now, so Sienna's starting to freak out. She's like, "What's going on here with this?" She's seeing things too.
Yep, she's calling her friend now, her one friend, to ask if, you know, she's seen anything. And,
I think it was Allie. I think her name was Allie. Yeah.
And this is when Art does visit the friend's house.
Oh, man. Oh, God. You know, you talk about kill.
We get to see probably the most gruesome kill in horror, would you say? I don't think I've never seen anything more brutal. They definitely top the hacksaw scene. I didn't think it could be done. I really didn't. You know, when Damien was saying, "Wait till you see this," he meant it.
Dude, he meant it. And
that was a brutal way to die.
I got to tell you, I'm thinking about it now. It's hard to talk about it. It was hard to watch.
I mean,
so this scene, this kill, number one, was the number one in this movie. Kill in this movie.
This was the one.
There was a lot, and there was some funny ones that we'll get to one particular funny one later on. But, dude, her friend got tortured.
Yes, she did.
Tortured. So they were trick-or-treating, and...
Yeah, he comes to the house as a trick-or-treater. He was, you know, she was like, I ain't giving you no candy. You're too old to trick-or-treat. And Art's like... You know, he was mad. You know, he's like, "What the hell? I'm here for some candy, right?" That's all he wanted.
She closes. He's not.
Yeah, he knocked again. He was like, "I'm not leaving until I get candy." So she does eventually give in and throws candy at him. So he's just kind of like there with his garbage bag, And as he's doing this, you know, he looks down, he's pissed because he's like, well, what the hell? You just threw the candy. Well, she realizes, oh shit, this guy got some bloody weapons in there.
Yeah.
She saw the hacksaw, I think a meat cleaver.
Yeah.
And they're just dripping in blood. So at this point, she's like, oh, hell no. She closes that door, locks it up, right? And then...
Dude, and then he comes back.
He does.
Breaks through the glass.
Yep.
And
he comes back in. It looks like later on that night, because it was dark time when he entered her home. So she hears, you know, clashing and banging downstairs. She walks down and realizes her back patio door is busted out. You know, glass everywhere. And this is where we just see Art casually go over to the sink with a cup. You know, he just walks right in front of her like she ain't there, and he fills up his cup and he drinks some water right in front of her. Casually, like, hey, I'm
a little thirsty.
water. Yeah.
So before I do this killing, let me just have a little sip.
So that was really funny to see that, because, you know, normally if somebody breaks in your house, they ain't gonna do something like that. No. This guy's just
so
like,
comfortable. So comfortable.
Like he lived there for years.
Mi casa es su casa. There he is. But he tortured this girl, man. I think he broke her.
Yeah, there was bones. Yeah, he lifted up the bone, broke her arm
between her fingers, ripped it up, split her hand,
splitting
her face. He gave her like a lobotomy almost. Took her whole scalp.
Oh yeah, he did like a maniac. That was a maniac kill. Yeah, he scalped her. Yeah,
it was sick, and everything was like. And she was still alive, man. And then
he did it in a manner that she could still be alive. But then this is what really did it. He brings in a bottle of bleach and salt.
And he's throwing it up in the air like it's salt. Like, oh my God.
He's sprinkling it all over her open wounds. And this poor girl is just like screaming in agony. So, I mean, it was brutal. I mean, I could see for some people that could be hard to watch, you know. But for us, you know, us horror heads, I mean, this is...
And I'm a horror fan, but even for me, it was hard to watch, man. And it was brutal. It was one of the most... I think, dare I say, it was the... most gruesome kill I've seen in a movie.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
I mean, he was playing with her. The mother comes home, like, what's going on? Allie, where are you? Goes in the room, sees him playing with her daughter that's still alive somehow. And her face is half off her scalp. She's like, Mom! She's even saying Mom, and that freaked me the hell out. Yeah. I was like, holy shit.
And he's laughing his ass off at this point, you know. The Art's just there laughing in the bed, and he's, you know, the mother's like, oh my God, like this is...
Oh God. Yeah, it was...
Yeah, he enjoys it. I mean, that's one thing about Art the Clown. What makes him more sick than other serial killers out there is that he enjoys what he does. I mean, he gets a kick out of it.
He gets a kick out of that, man.
Yeah, like, that's laughter for him. I mean, you know, so...
Forget your Charles Mansons, forget your Jeffrey Dahmer. This is Art the Clown, baby.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And then what did he do with the mother? What we find out he did with the mother, you tell him? When the trick-or-treaters came to the door?
Oh, yeah. So, this was one of... Yeah. So, we later, after he gets done with the mother and all that, you know, we get a ring at the doorbell, and it's trick-or-treaters. Art answers with the mother's head as a bowl, a candy bowl. Scoops out her brain, he has the head, and he has the candy in there.
And he's telling everybody, just one, just pick
he's telling one. There was this one kid that went to go grab more, and he slapped his hand, and he was like, no, one. You know, he's going like this to him. And that was a kick, you know, and they're like, wow, look at that bowl, that looks realistic.
Sticky!
Yeah, they're like, Mom, this candy's sticky. So
that was neat that they did that too.
Yeah, that was very creative. Yeah, that was a creative way to use the mother's head. So
these practical effects in this movie that Damien and Mr. Falcone,
Phil Falcone. Yeah, shout out to you guys. I mean, what I love about Damien's effects is he brings it back to the 80s.
Yeah. You know? I'm glad you brought that up, man. Talk about that with the practical.
The soundtrack.
Yes, very 80s.
A lot of
Stranger Things a little bit.
Yeah, had that Stranger Things vibe, especially when you would see Sienna in her room and she's making her costume. I mean, the soundtrack was awesome. Yeah, I mean, we had those electrical, you know, guitars in there, and it was just, you know, it really did scream 80s, which we both love 80s horror, right? And that vibe was there, man, so... Definitely shout out to the producers and the composer that, you know, did all the soundtrack for this.
Yeah, I was trying to get, I forgot the composer's name offhand, but I got to get, was it Wiley? It might be somebody. Paul Wiley.
Yeah, Paul Wiley. Yes. Yep, shout out to Paul Wiley.
Great scores, great soundtrack. I definitely want to get the vinyl. Yeah. All right, so now we fast forward, and Sienna, she's creating this outfit.
Yeah.
Right? That her father again, he was a great artist.
Yeah, her father designed this, like, it kind of reminds you of like an archangel, right?
Yeah, like a gargoyle
really,
or something.
Yeah, like a really cool angel with wings and very, like, very tough looking too, right?
Yeah.
Had armor. She had armor on, so
like a superhero.
Yeah, kind of Wonder Woman mixed with an angel is what I kind of got out of it, right?
The Wonder Angel.
Yeah, she had like the war paint going down.
Yeah,
It's a really cool look, by the way.
Xena, like warrior princess look. That's what it kind of reminded me of too.
Yeah, she looked really awesome and she really did a good job,
Yeah, and she was on her way to a party. She was going to. She was I want to get my mind off everything that's going on and what she's been seeing and dreaming about. And mother at this point, she's down in some wine. Remind me of my mother too again. And just real quick, the mother when she bit her little things I know, Damien. That's how I know you're Italian because when she bit her hand, the mother bit her finger. That's an Italian woman thing. I'm telling you, right? My mother does it all the time. But anyway, back on to Sienna. She's going to the party.
Yep, she's getting ready for this Halloween party. At this time, her brother's grounded. Yeah, because of the whole dead animal at the school. So they all thought that he did it, so she grounded him because she's like, why would you bring a dead end? This is why the mother's drinking now. And she's like, oh, my son's done. Yeah, my son's Dahmer now, so he's gonna end up, killing people. And so she's depressed. She starts drinking. She grounds him. So Sienna's off to the party, and the mother's even kind of like, is that a little bit too revealing? But then she realizes, hey, just go have fun, your dad designed that, so she just wanted to see her have a good time, so she goes off to the party with, what friend was that?
I think it was Allie.
Yeah, Allie.
Allie's boyfriend there, and then
the boyfriend,
and music is bumping, and apparently, what is Allie? And like any good friend would do when their friend is down, slip a Molly in her drink. Yeah, man. God damn.
Just a little bit of Molly in your drink,
and she's feeling it, because she gets her mood changed. Yeah. And at this point, she's over there, she's feeling nice, she's feeling good, and then her brother's home, he's grounded, and the mother had enough of the scrapbook and the pictures. She whips it up, and he's like, you know what, you're such a bitch.
Yeah, she's basically like, enough of this Art the Clown shit, she's not real, so.
And then she slaps him because he calls her a bitch, and he runs out of the house.
Yeah, he runs out of the house, and then runs away.
She calls Sienna.
Yep, she calls Sienna, upset, and, saying, oh, your brother's ran away now, and at this time, I think this is when she hears, like, commotion in the garage while she's on the phone. Yeah. So she's, she's like, well, no, she actually calls Sienna after she finds out that she thinks the son vandalized the car in the garage. Yeah, because there's toilet paper, shaving cream, that broken pumpkin on the roof. So she's thinking it's the brother. So she calls Sienna. She's like, I had enough with this kid. He ran away now. He just trashed the car.
She's like, are you drunk? Like, no.
Sienna's, in a good mood. She's vibing in there, dancing. She's like, Mom, it's just only shaving cream. She's like, you drunk, Sienna? So, at that point, she goes in and checks on the car, and this is where we get to see something really terrifying. I'd say it could be a jump scene to some. Yeah, you're right. She's there getting ready to clean the window, and as she scrapes away the shaving cream, you just have David staring at her. Art is bloody face, Art the Clown's in there sitting, and looking sadistic. I mean, this was a really cool scene because, he's just staring right at her, and she's just like, what the hell is this? Yeah, and she just doesn't know what to do. Things are about to change. Yeah. That's what she said, I think. She wiped the thing, and he had a gun. And blew her head off. Blew her head right off. Right through the window? Right through the window. He just pulls out this gun and you see the scalp hit the wall? Yep. Her head rolls and hits off the garage wall. Yeah, I mean, were you expecting that? No. I thought she was going to live. Yeah, I thought he was just going to clown around a little bit with her, but he wasn't playing around. He just shot her. He blew her head right off. Yeah, and then we find out when her son comes back to the house and sees his mother sitting in the chair, faceless, just a pile of mush. Yeah, at the dinner table, yep. What does Dave do? Art comes in with a nice little apron with a crock pot, mashed potatoes. He's putting mashed potatoes on his dead mother's plate. And the son's looking on like, what the hell? And then he actually feeds. He feeds her. Her face is just blown apart, and he's just mashing mashed potatoes in her face. It's all mashed. It's all mashed together. That was a really funny scene, just seeing, David in that apron on. We did the mash. Yeah, we did the Art the Clown mash. We did the Art mash. It was funny, man. And then
You know, the son gets injected.
Yeah.
One of these needles right here. You
it's
know,
a nice,
this one.
you know, little injection,
nice little
to the neck, and he's out.
Out cold.
Yep. So now we get another call to Sienna, and this time it's what she thinks is her brother, but actually it's the little evil clown girl. She somehow manipulates his voice, so the brother is knocked out cold, but this little clown girl uses his voice and calls Sienna. She's telling Sienna, "Hey, meet me at this carnival. You know, I'm over here. I'm in trouble." So Sienna's like, "What the hell are you doing there?" You know, kind of thing. And so she tells her friend, she's like, "Hey, we gotta go. You know, we gotta go. My brother's in trouble. He's saying he's at this carnival. Something's going on." So they end up, getting in the car, and they ended up scooping out.
And they left to this damn carnival, which. It's funny because you talk about foreshadowing also in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
There was a shirt, right, that the boyfriend had. It says "Just a Tip."
Yeah,
Michael Myers. I think it was a Halloween
Yep.
shirt. And they're in the car because Sienna goes into the carnival to try to find her brother.
Yep.
And they're in the car. He goes to take a leak, and then she looks at the window. It says "Just a Tip" on the window.
Yeah.
And Art the Clown, man, takes his knife and just stabs this dude right in,
Yep.
his manhood.
Yeah, he's out there peeing yet, so he didn't even get a chance to even put it away.
No, and he put more than just the tip in there.
Yeah.
Stabbed it, and he ripped off his penis.
He ripped off his penis and then puts it at the window to the girlfriend, and she's just like, "What the?"
That's a real life prop.
That was a kill that even had all of us men like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah. Man, I felt it when he did that.
Yeah.
It
was brutal, and he kept stabbing.
The whole theater was like, "Oh!" All the guys.
This poor guy. Yeah, he definitely got castrated there.
Oh shit! And then he's going to kill a friend. Rips her out of the car.
Yeah.
But she ends up getting away at first.
She does, yeah.
At first.
Oh,
jeez.
I think this was our second most brutalest kill.
Yeah, this is the second.
I mean, every kill was brutal,
but like this one was
these
bad
two
too,
girls in this film, they got it the worst.
Yeah, and you want to talk about this death because now as Sienna's walking around trying to find her brother.
And what's cool here too is that when Sienna gets into this carnival, so this is a shout out to the Fright Factory in Philadelphia.
Oh,
they let Terrifier crew come in and film there. They're a haunted attraction, so this place was really neat. I mean, the set pieces and the designs, they have this carnival atmosphere, and then we get into the actual haunt, which we get to see like a circus theme. I mean, it all goes right with Art the Clown, so it was like his domain, his territory, and we had a couple of the props that from the actual haunt come out.
Yeah,
jump scare, everybody too. So that was really cool to see that. So we got to see, Sienna in that environment, and then we get to see the friend go into the bathroom, right?
That bathroom was awesome setup, how they set it up. Dude, Art was here, I noticed on the wall.
Blood dripping everywhere. I mean, it looked like a massacre bathroom. So that was a really cool set piece of the movie, and this is where we get to see the friend. She goes into there to hide, and Art comes right in. And this is where things get crazy.
When he was like leaning, I remember the time he was leaning, he reminded me of Freddy Krueger. Yeah. When he was leaning like that.
Yeah, he kind of leaned around the corner.
Thought you can get away from me, did you?
And he comes in, he can see he's smiling, he's like chuckling a little bit, like, there ain't nowhere to run now.
Yeah.
So she's trapped into this bathroom, and then
he lays into her, man.
Yeah, he does.
And ultimately, she's screaming, but he takes this weapon that he made. It was so creative because it was the end of a table.
Bat, but like an end of a table.
It was like a leg of a table that he put all these sharp weapons out, whether it was a knife, a nail, a fork, through it, and it was just like daggers on all ends. Yeah. And he takes it and just breaks through her chest cavity. Yeah.
This is where we get to see him actually rip apart
the chest,
and pull her heart out.
Shit, we didn't even talk about the beginning kill too, where he ripped the guy's head off in two.
David was ripping apart people in this one. Yeah. I mean, Art the Clown was amazing with the rips, and it was tearing and
all the makeup and effects. I can't talk enough about it. It was
that chest cavity. Man, that was talented, man. He had the blood splurting out, and he's just ripping in there, pulling out different organs and
evisceration, just like straight pulling out the
just, and he's again enjoying it, of course, but he then gets her heart. He gets her heart, and he takes a bite out of it.
Takes a bite out of her.
Yeah.
I guess her heart belongs to him.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yep.
But that was gruesome too, man. And then we're in this sequence, and we'll talk about this in a second. But we're in this weird sequence where it's Sienna and the brother, and it's back and forth with her versus Art. Because the brother's there. I think he's unconscious at one point.
Yeah.
And
He's
she's
still
fighting him.
He's still not alert yet. He's out yet.
Art starts using this, I know, to whip both of them.
Yeah.
This man, all
Which
these
is a brutal
sharp
weapon. Yeah.
tools and gadgets.
Yeah. So if anybody loved the whip from the first one, it makes its debut in the second one, and wow,
makes its return in the second one. Yeah. And then, man, just lacerations after lacerations on both Sienna and her brother. It was. I felt it too, man. When he was whipping, it was like
something about that, just getting whipped, and especially with having things like this on the end.
In childhood.
I mean, it's brutal. Yeah, you really feel like every whip he came down, you kind of were like, like you would
and
feel.
The brother was getting whipped bad.
Yeah,
and Sienna tried to cover him up.
Yeah, he didn't even care. Like, he was whipping the brother's ass with it, and she tries to help him and puts her own body over the brother, and she's taking it. And
my thought on this whole thing was, I thought Art was their father. For some reason, I really thought Art was Sienna and her brother's father.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. And that's what my mind was, because I'm like, wait a minute, because he created. Remember they said that he died. Their father apparently died. Yeah. Because he lost his mind a little bit like that.
Yeah. They did say their father was crazy.
Yeah, and he was towards the end. He was making all these crazy pictures and drawings.
Yeah.
It's like.
But he drew Art the Clown.
Yeah, he drew Art the Clown, which
is.
That's why it makes me believe. Was that their father? And I'm thinking this whole thing because I'm like, how did this dagger come into place? Or there has to be some sort of connection, and we have to. Part 3 is going to happen. Yeah. We know that. But in this film,
they did this on purpose. They They knew that they were going to make another one, and they want the fans to keep, having those thoughts. And this is very genius by Damien to do that, because, all of us fans are going to keep guessing. But
and then there's a part at the end where Sienna gets stabbed apparently into what looks like
the pit of hell.
Like a pit of hell, yeah. And then she's in. Now she's back in like a water tube that you would see at a circus or a carnival.
Yeah, or like a Houdini.
Yeah, like a Houdini. Exactly.
Yep, that's what it reminded me.
That's a good call. Yeah, it was like Houdini.
So she's in this water tank, and
David
fighting for air, and
and they bring back with the Clown Cafe.
Yeah,
with the cast of the
Clown
Cafe.
She ends up going back to the Clown Cafe, so we get to see that again. And when she gets back there, everybody's dead. On fire yet. The banjo player.
Still playing.
Yeah, she's still playing yet. So we get to see the banjo player playing.
And it's crazy because now this dagger lights up.
Yeah.
Right? And it glow, and now she gets the power, and it's glowing from the stab wound that she had in her stomach, and now it's like a second wind. Sienna, she comes up again, and now she's going to kill Art, and she does.
Yep.
And she decapitates him. His head's on the floor.
Yeah, we get to see Art's head
severed off.
Yeah.
And what happens after that with the head?
Then we get the little clown girl comes back, right? And she picks up Art's head and carries it off, which was really weird. We're all like, oh, shit, what's going on here? So she takes Art's head like it's a trophy and runs off with it. So
And that was what we thought, I guess, the end of the film. Sienna and her brother, they're alive. And we go to the credits, I think, briefly.
Yeah, they show a little bit of credits, and then they cut to
Chris Jericho,
an insane asylum.
Yep,
and we get to see Chris Jericho's working at the front desk there.
Oh yeah.
So which he did an awesome job. He was real funny in this.
So did you try the jelly?
Yeah.
Jericho he talks. Yeah, come on, try it. I think my wife made it in that Canadian accent.
Yeah.
I love Chris Jericho from wrestling, just all around.
Yeah, and he's a superstar. He's a huge Terrifier fan. I know he just had Damien and David on his show recently, so I gotta check that out.
Yeah, Jericho,
that interview,
man.
Yeah.
So he's a horror guy.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that. So I would love
to
talk with Chris, man, and have Chris at an event or something like that too. And he's there, like I said, in the insane asylum, and then they're cutting back now. Who's in that asylum is the victim of the first movie.
Yeah, the girl that got her face eaten off. She's in that asylum because she just got done murdering the talk show host, right?
She murdered
the talk show host. So they lock her up because they're like,
asylum.
she's crazy,
And then apparently it was a bad menstrual cycle.
No. She's bleeding.
She's taking the blood up from her.
Yeah, and she's
vagina.
making art sculptures on the walls, and so we're all wondering what the hell is going on here. Well, it turns out she was, I guess, pregnant.
Yeah.
She had a belly on her, so she's giving birth.
Yeah, it was quite the
on the floor. So she's pulling out the umbilical cord out of herself.
Yeah.
And we have the
nurse opens
comes
the door.
in. Yeah, because she hears her screaming in there. So she's like, "What is going on?" So she opens it up, and behold, when she opens up this door, we have this woman sitting on the floor holding the head of Art the Clown.
She gave birth to a head.
Birth to a head. And it was smiling.
The head was smiling.
He's smiling at the nurse. So.
Okay, so
my mind's blown at this point because I'm like, what is going on? How did this head get in her? We saw the little clown girl take the head, so we're not sure.
What is this symbolism? What is this girl, this little girl about? How is this? Now she's walking up the stairs, almost personifying like she's going up to heaven. Like there's a creation she's recreating. Now Art is in this crazed woman that was the first, the Terrifier #1. That was the victim, the only survivor that lost her mind. And now gives birth to an Art the Clown head? I mean, I seen in WWE, we seen Mae Young give birth to a hand.
Yeah.
Now we seen Terrifier a head.
Yeah.
And the head was smiling, and it was fully formed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, just incredible how it must have been brewing in her stomach, in her uterus. And
so this is one that say that Art is still alive. He's going to be coming back. I mean, she gave birth back again to Art.
But where's the rest of the body?
Yeah.
So it got weird. It got weird at this point, and then it cuts and everything concludes. So okay, that wraps up pretty much the movie in a nutshell. But I want to talk about a couple things right here. I want to talk about pros and cons, and I want to get your thoughts on what this all means. So let's start with what this all means, because we just came off like a weird trip here.
Well, I think it's safe to say that we all know from the second one that Art is supernatural. We know that, the guy took a bullet to the head. He comes back to life, so we know he's something, right? He's either a demon or he's related to something evil. And, the supernatural elements were definitely shown in Terrifier 2, which was really cool, because he got to see things that only he saw, and only Sienna got to see too. So something's all tied in with Sienna yet and Art, and I think we'll learn more about that in part 3 of the Terrifier 3 once they get that going. So.
Oh man, 100%. And I think you're right on that, because they definitely transitioned.
Yeah.
Because the original, we thought, okay, Art could be a human.
Yeah.
And now there's that supernatural.
Had that slasher
feel, the 80s slasher feel.
The 80s slasher movie. This one went into more depth of who he is and why he does what he does.
So we're getting more of the story.
Yes. More, if you're into story-driven, Terrifier 2 has that, and it still has all the brutality of the kills.
It's masterfully done. Like, I think the kills were just incredible in this film. I cannot talk enough about the practical effects.
Yeah.
I love practical over CGI any day of the week. So it brought that
definitely.
80s vibe with the practical and with the music. That again, pros for me. The storyline that we started to see more of a story in this one. That I really enjoyed.
And I like that you could get behind the characters. There was a lot of character development, and Sienna did a really great job. The mom, the brother. They were all really good, so, kind of like the big takeaway from the first one that a lot of fans would say, the characters, you couldn't really, they weren't likable. They were just there for carnage, right?
Yeah.
They were there to just get murdered. But this one, you actually were like kind of rooting even for Sienna in it, because you're like, man, this girl, she's been through a lot, with her father. He died tragically in like a car fire, so she's been through a lot. So to see her come out on top at the end was really cool, to see that.
Yeah, and then I felt bad when the mother died.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
I
was like, no, they killed the mom.
Yeah.
And, with that, and then her friend Allie, so like you said, to your point, definitely character development in this one. Storyline and kills and the comedy aspect with the balance, that balance, and Art just... His mannerisms, the way he's laughing at things, and the things that he was doing in this film was just such over the top, and it was just, again, genius, pure genius. So I thoroughly enjoyed that part. I think for me though, and again, constructive criticism, the movie ran a little bit too long. It was over 2 hours. I think it was over 2 hours long.
And 2 hours and 20 minutes it was.
Yeah?
Yep.
Oh, shoot. So, yeah, okay, it was over 2 hours. And I felt it. You know, it's one thing if you can watch a movie and it's like 2-3 hours long, but it doesn't feel like it. I felt it towards the end. And I think that's
probably
where...
like around the third act of the movie is where you felt that. And
it was just the ending, though, man. It was just the ending where... My opinion, I think they should have ended it sooner. You know, it felt like, and my wife, the credit to her, she said, JC was like, you know what, it just felt like she was fighting Art on 3 different occasions.
Yeah.
It should have just been one final battle, and if Art would have stabbed her, even if they would have did the same scene, he would have stabbed her with that dagger, she would have fell in that little pit and came up, and if you wanted to have that, you know, supernatural element added to it, fine.
Yeah.
You know, we're moving, obviously, we see in that different direction, which is also a positive, I might add, because now they could do so much more where it's like Art,
they left the story wide open. Yeah, they really did.
The wide open, and it reminded me of like Jason Lives with the Frankenstein aspect that C.J. Graham, that Tom McLaughlin had, and that was another genius film, my favorite in the franchise. So that whole, again, supernatural element, you can keep making sequels with that. But now... You know, at the end of this one, again, I just felt it ran too long, man. And I felt like the fight scene should have been shorter and just narrowed down into one scene, and then that was it. Still do the thing with Jericho and the credit thing. I love that. But that's my only takeaways. Yeah. That's really been...
No, and I agree with you. I feel the same on it. You know, there was a lot that, you know, when I left the theater, I was like, man, what the hell just happened there at the end, you know? A lot of it, you know, with the sword, the dagger, and Sienna coming back, you know. A lot of that stuff for me was kind of like, you know, like, I think it would have been cool if she landed into that pit and they ended it there and then bring it back in the third one somehow. Like, where did she go? You know what I mean? Like, keep that mystery, like, damn, Art got her. She's in the pits of hell. That's good. That would have been a cool way to end it there, and, you know, that way we would have saw her in part 3, how she comes back. Because now we know going into, you know, for a part 3 that... You know, she is alive. I think that would have gave a little bit more mystery on, man, did Sienna live or did she die, you know?
Yeah, I agree.
But, dude, the movie was definitely for the fans. They even said that, you know, they wanted it 2 hours and 20 minutes because they knew the fans wanted that. They wanted to give all these kills on scenes, and they delivered. They really did. I mean, as a fan watching it, I was in my glory. I was like a kid in the candy shop, man. Just watching all the carnage.
Or a kid in the costume shop.
All the carnage and chaos on screen, and it, you know.
And the jingle. The jingle I took away from that. Come on down to the Clown Cafe. Gruesome, man. I forgot the whole words. All I know is come on down to the Clown Cafe. Yeah. That is something that it's going to be, I'm telling you, it's going to be marketing. It's going to be marketing 101. Smart.
We're going to have that jingle around for the next couple of years. It's going to be there, so.
Oh, man. Yeah, you know what? Just thinking about, imagine having an event with the Terrifier crew. And just having the whole setup with the Clown Cafe.
I want to know when the Art Krispies are going to be released.
Hell yeah! I'm ready.
I want a box, man.
Forget your Raisin Brans. Forget your Cheerios. Forget your Wheaties.
You better watch out, Count Chocula, because Art Krispies is coming.
The
Count's going to be counted out.
You can count it out. Your days are numbered, Count. You can count them, because Art Krispies is coming, baby. I'm getting me a box.
That's what I want.
A couple boxes. Yeah, that's it. And I'm going down to the Clown Cafe and having a good time. Why not?
But we all are.
Yes, but dude, you know what? And I think to your point though, on the fact that if it would have ended with her going through the pit and then we cut to that scene after the credits, that would have been perfect. But I also feel like if they would have did that, some fans out there would have been complaining because it's like, well, what happened? You left us with a cliffhanger. Yeah. You know, but well, it's now you have to wait for the third one. You know, so I think also this is probably good that they did it. So it's a give and take. I think. Overall, you know, if again, rating, how do you rate it? How do you judge it? You know, for me personally, on a scale of 1 to 10, when you factor in everything, you factor in kills, just themes, scores, storylines, everything, I give this movie a 9, Josh. Yeah. In my opinion, and that's big. Yeah, that's big. That is big. Because like a 9 for a horror film. Yeah. Just because it was so well done. These guys are, and not because we see them and we talk with them. Dude, it's just. Even if I didn't know who they were or met them in person, dude, these guys are just, it's creative geniuses. Yeah, seriously. It definitely is. How they put this together. And the reason why I couldn't give it any more than a 9 is because, like I said, the takeaways. For me, it ran a little bit too long, but then again, that's subjective. And also, the ending was like, was too many fight scenes. It should. But again, what do you give? I got to hear your opinion on this because you're a Terrifier fan.
Well, I mean, being a big fan of the movie, I'm definitely gonna, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
That's it.
I mean, for me, it had everything I wanted in it. It was everything I hoped for. Waiting 3 years of hearing about this project take off, and I just I couldn't wait. It was everything that I was hoping for. So
it was an early birthday gift.
Yeah. Oh, it was. Yeah. I mean, it truly was an amazing movie, and to see it on the big screen, I never in my wildest dreams would have thought I would see this man on a big screen because just of how crazy the movies are, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that was something. Just being in a theater full of fans and watching it, and just to experience that with everybody.
It was incredible, guys. Again, I know if you watch this without watching the film, you pretty much know the whole film, but you know what? Still go back and watch it because, again, we didn't do justice. Yeah. There's so much more that we missed in this one. So we had just a great time. I want to do more of these reviews where we're sitting down in the domain. I really enjoy this better than going over a computer on Zoom and stuff like that, and just doing some movie reviews and just roundtable discussions or something about horror. What about those shades, man? You got to put them on for the fans. Before we sign out of here, we encourage you, make sure when it comes out, Screenbox, I believe at the end of the month, you check it out. Terrifier 2. It was a terrifying but yet comical experience as Art the Clown hit the big screen, baby, the theaters, and it's coming home to you guys. Check it out, Terrifier 2. Please, if you haven't done so already, horror fans, subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, you're going to see this man at your door real quick. Art the Clown, David Edward Thornton. Shout out to the whole Terrifier crew. You guys did an incredible job on this film. Happy Halloween, because we got a gift. We got a treat this year for Halloween, Terrifier 2. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for listening. And thank you for celebrating horror not only in October, but 365. We're going to see you next week.